Hello and welcome to ET Education. My name is Vivek Ratnakar. Today, India is at crossroads. As the largest democracy on earth, we are moving swiftly and confidently towards our goal of becoming a developed country by 2047, when we will celebrate the 100th year of our independence from the British Raj. But this process is not without its own challenges, as we have to shed a lot of our burdens from the past and embrace the new to claim a rightful place amongst the community of nations. Today, our demographic dividend places us in a unique position. However, if we fail to unlock the potential of millions of our young Indians, our goals will remain just a dream. It is in this context that the role of education, especially school education, assumes immense significance. Therefore, it becomes very important for us to understand how schools in India are preparing the young for the challenges of the future. Today we have with us Indu Yadav ji, Principal, Lotus Valley International School, Greater Noida West. She is a well-respected educationist with over 26 years of experience and administrative experience. In her teaching career, spanning almost 2 decades, she has touched many lives, and her students are now successful professionals in various fields, working in India as well as abroad. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much for having me here, and it's really a pleasure, being with you.
Thank you. Ma'am, Lotus Valley School envisions a holistic education that goes beyond traditional academic excellence. The school recognizes that the needs of the students in the 21st century extend far beyond textbooks and how it aligns with the evolving needs of the students in the 21st century.
So, thank you very much for this question. I think, before I answer this question, it's very important to understand what is holistic education. These days, all of us are talking about holistic education. So, holistic education is not just the intellectual development of children. As the NEP also talks about Panch Kosha, which is 5 layers of the human body. So, here at Lotus Valley, we are looking at 5 domains of learning, which are physical domain, which talks about how children need to look at their health and well-being. So it's important, that in today's age and date, children must be taught that it's important to be healthy and fit. So physical domain is being looked after by the way of not just making them play sports, but also understand the importance of physical fitness. Then the second domain that we look at is intellectual domain. So for a very long time we have been kind of focusing always on the intellectual domain. Here, when we talk about the intellectual domain, it's not just about the acquisition of knowledge, right? So it's about learning how to learn, becoming a lifelong learner, and also after learning how to apply that knowledge to real life and making sense of what they learn. So intellectual domain is being looked at here at Lotus Valley very creatively. Then we have spiritual domain. So spiritual domain, we never really thought that when we talk about education, spirituality also could come in. So here, when we talk about spirituality, it's about being one with oneself, connecting with oneself, and for that, every day we make it a point to tell children and to make them sit in little bit of meditation. While meditation may sound, a heavy word for these little children, but we at least teach them how to be calm and peaceful and be with themselves. Then we also have social domain. It's important that since we are a part of the society, children must learn how to engage socially with their peers, with their teachers, and with other people around. And the last but most important domain is emotional domain. And here in this domain, we are looking at how they understand their emotions, how they understand and learn to express their emotions, and also understand the emotions of other people. So, we are looking at holistic development of children so that tomorrow, when they go out, they are ready to face the world and really be happy. So one of the musicians, I think it was John Lennon, who said, the purpose of life is to be happy. So if we can work on all these domains of a child, I think when they go out, they'll be happy people and they'll create happiness all around.
I think it's a wonderful, it's a very unique approach, ma'am. And I think this kind of initiative will definitely go a long way in improving our happiness index.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, my next question will be regarding the innovation and personalized learning in your school.
Hmm.
So, what sets Lotus Valley apart from other educational institutions, and how does it cultivate a unique learning environment for its students?
I would not like to compare Lotus Valley with other institutions. I would just like to share with you that we are doing things to make children ready for life. So, education, the kind of education that we are trying to impart, is not for getting jobs, it is for getting them ready for life. So, you and I understand that times are changing, the world is changing really rapidly. And with the advent of IT, IoT, AI, we don't know what kind of jobs are going to be available in the next 10 years or so. In fact, when I interact with some young parents and they tell me about the kind of jobs that they are doing, I don't even understand, what are those kind of jobs. So, in the years to come, what kind of jobs would be available for them, we don't really know. So, how can we prepare them for jobs? We can't really prepare them for jobs. What we need to do is to give them the requisite skill sets, which would really prepare them to face life as it comes. So, some of the skill sets could be, about adaptability, they can be about communication skills, it can be about critical thinking, it can be about problem solving, right? It can be about getting along with people, it could be about collaboration and teamwork. So it's very important that children have these life skills, and this is what we are trying to teach here at Lotus Valley. Apart from this, I think as an institution, how I look at education is not what children would become as a result of good education. It's about who they would become. What kind of people they would become as a result of good education. Would there be people who would have empathy, compassion for other people? Would there be people who would really add value to whatever they do in life, to the society, to their families, and to the nation at large? So it's important that we look at those aspects also in education, and that's what we are doing.
Wonderful, ma'am. Ma'am, as the National Education Policy 2020 is being
Sorry.
adopted across schools in India,
Hmm.
we would like to understand from you that in what ways Lotus Valley School adapted its curriculum to in alignment with the National Education Policy, and how do these adaptations enhance the overall educational experiences of students?
So when we talk about, first of all, I'd like to break this question into two. Uh, what is curriculum? It's important to understand what is curriculum. So, curriculum is basically designing the learning outcomes, the content as to what we need to teach. Then is pedagogy, which is how we have to teach it. Then assessment, which is what is it that children have been able to acquire, and giving them feedback on the basis of that assessment, not really assessment, not just for saying you pass or you fail, assessment for moving forward, and giving a feedback and doing remediation. So assessment followed by even integrating subjects, bringing more life to education. By integrating arts, sports, and different subjects, breaking the silos. And this is what the NEP talks about. NEP 2020 talks about moving away from rote learning to competency-based learning. And this is what we are looking at here. So, competencies, when we talk about what are competencies are knowledge, skill, and attitudes, right? So, acquisition of knowledge is important. Children must acquire knowledge, as I said initially, also, that we are looking at their intellectual development, wherein they would be able to acquire knowledge and apply that knowledge, for their own growth and for the development of society. So, knowledge acquisition is important. But along with that knowledge, it's important to acquire skills also, and attitudes, behaviors. So, what kind of attitudes and behaviors would really help them apply that knowledge to the well being of the society? So, that is what we are doing. And NEP also speaks about breaking the silos between subjects. So, here we are looking at cross curricular linkages, wherein we are integrating arts, performing arts, visual arts, and sports into the curriculum as part of their normal teaching learning process. And also, as they say, that life does not really exist in silos. The problems that we would go out and face, they would not say that I belong to chemistry, I belong to physics, or I belong to mathematics. So,
Right.
problems and real life situations are all a combination of all subjects. So, we also look at teaching children as far as possible, breaking the silos and the boundaries between subjects. So, we have our project based learning that really kind of caters to breaking the silos. And we also have our integrated curriculum, which helps children to break the silos and the barriers and enjoy their learning. So we want to really ensure that children really enjoy the process of learning. The learning is joyful for them, and we let our doors, be open for learning to come in from everywhere, whether it's parents or any experts from different fields. So we have our program which we call as guest speaker program, wherein we invite experts and parents from different fields to come and speak to our children. Our children also move out, for their internships and to get industry experience also. And so basically we want learning to be hands-on, something which is relevant for them, wherein they are able to draw connections between their learning and the world outside. So I remember, when I was growing up as a child, I was a science student in my grades 11 and 12, and I never really enjoyed science. I never really enjoyed mathematics because somehow I could not really understand the relevance of studying the topics that I was studying. So when it was mathematics, I did not understand why did I have to study Pythagoras theorem, because I did not really know the application of Pythagoras theorem. So I feel that it's important that children learn the relevance of what they are learning and how it connects with the world, real world outside.
Right.
So that's what we are doing, and that's exactly what the NEP 2020 speaks about.
That's great, ma'am. I think it will make a lot of changes, how we approach the studies,
Hmm.
basically. Ma'am, regarding the technology, especially emerging technologies like AI and artificial intelligence and as well as AR, VR, are critical to empower not only students but also teachers. In this context, could you throw some light on what new technologies your school is integrating into its educational approach, and how are these technologies enhancing teaching, learning, and overall student engagement?
So I think this also is as per NEP 2020 that it does talk about integrating technology to make learning more engaging for children, more interesting for children, and also adaptive, right? So I think genesis of technology, of course, is long back, but I think COVID 2020 has been quite instrumental for all the educators to take a full plunge into technology. I think we as educators we were sitting on the fringes, on the fence, and we were using technology, but not really to that extent. We all have our computer labs, and we were all using PPTs earlier, but when COVID 2020 came, we actually went full throttle into using technology. And since then, there's been no looking back. Because I realized that, in fact, all the educators, we feel that technology, these children are born with technology.
Right.
Okay. So for them, it comes very naturally to them. And when we, just go to the classes and use chalk and talk method, teach them through chalk and talk, they completely switch off, if I may say so. They are completely disengaged. So if we want to engage the learners of today, we have to go their way. And using technology is their way. This is one aspect of it. The second thing is that technology helps in making learning more meaningful. Now, when I say that, I think it goes without kind of any argument that when we are using AR VR in our, well, we are not using VR as of now, but when we use augmented reality also in our classrooms, well, children, the whole classroom comes alive. So children are like, they are really keen to learn, and they show a lot of interest, and the learning that happens, it's not only momentary and temporary, it stays with them. So I'll give you one example. So this was during after COVID, when teachers had just learned how to use AR using various tools that are available online. So they were talking about wild animals, and they brought in a tiger using AR in the class. And I have beautiful pictures of that also, with me, because we click pictures. That was the first time that we had started using AR, and children were like, "Oh my God, tiger, it's a wild animal. How come it's there in the classroom?" So the kind of curiosity that it generated, and children learned so much about the tiger at that time. Seeing the tiger being present in the classroom with them.
To instant connect.
Yes. So, I mean, as I said earlier, there's been no looking back since then. And we've been using technology, for augmenting learning. So here, whether teachers are preparing their lesson plans, so they use technology extensively. So whether it's, as a starter activity, or as, for the purpose of exploration, experimentation, teachers have been using a whole lot of tools. If you wish, I could mention a few tools that we've been using here. Teachers are using, there's something called assembler. There's something like fed simulation. So and mindler, and there are many more tools. Fibonacci. So they are using these tools to bring in the 3D aspect or AR aspect of learning. So, for example, if you are teaching, let's say, skeletal system. So, with these tools, children can not only just see the front part of the skeletal system. They can move around, and if they are looking at the skull, they can also go inside. So that tool helps the children to see what is inside, and how the entire body is connected, etc. So that really makes their learning permanent. It makes it more meaningful, as I said, and engaging. And then another important part of education is assessments. So earlier we had been using assessments as examinations for failing or passing students. Now we are looking at assessments for, as, and of learning. Okay, assessments for learning, assessments as learning, and assessments of learning. So while pen and paper tests are there, which are held towards the end of the session or after the first term, um, during their learning process. So, to understand where children are and to kind of tweak the teaching methodology as per the needs of the learning needs of the children, we keep doing formative assessments to know where exactly we are and where children are so that we can change the methodology or go where the child is, not really move forward as we have decided as per a lesson plan, to understand where the child is coming from, go down to his level. Okay, so they could be in a class of 30 students, they could be 10 students, whose previous knowledge is not really on par with the other students, right? So we can't really start teaching them from that level. We have to ensure that we go down to the level of the child, start from where he is. So that's called differentiated learning. So we differentiate learning using technology. So to understand first where the child is, how we have to map the lesson plans as per the child's requirement and take the child gradually, step by step as per his or her pace of learning. So a lot of things again are a lot of tools are being used by teachers every day to ensure that learning really uh, happens and the outcomes are as desired.
My next question is, in fact, related to that. And how does the school support the teachers in adapting new models of training and professional development
Hmm.
to ensure that they remain equipped with latest delivery quality to deliver quality education?
Yeah. Okay. So I think we all agree that teachers are the backbone of education, right? So it's important that in this rapidly changing dynamic world, education is also dynamic. So for that, it's important that teachers are constantly learning. So we have tried to ensure that we are cultivating a learning community wherein all teachers learn. And the NEP also has talked about 50 hours of CPD for all teachers, compulsory 50 hours of CPD. So it's mandatory for all teachers to undergo 50 hours of training. Now, here at Lotus Valley, we are not even restricting that to 50 hours. We are going much beyond 50 hours. So, the model that we have created is that, let's say, it's not possible for all teachers to go for all trainings, and learn simultaneously the same skill sets. What we have done is that, let's say, if 5 teachers attend one training, they come back and train the rest 170 teachers. So what is happening is that there is learning reverse kind of training that happens. So teachers learn and then they come and train the other teachers. So there is a constant thrust on teacher training, and we also identify the needs of teachers. What exactly are the different needs of teachers, and as per that we design the training modules for teachers.
That's great, ma'am. Ma'am, as we all know, skill development is a very important component of NEP. And could you please elaborate on what specific steps has the school taken to incorporate the recently introduced skill education from sixth class onward?
So I would like to just share with you that we started with skill education, I think, much earlier than many other schools. In 2020, we started teaching artificial intelligence in our grades 9 and 10. And I think we were one of the very few schools which had taken this plunge. And this is despite the fact that we started this branch of Lotus Valley in 2018. So immediately after 2 years, we started with artificial intelligence in grades 9 and 10. And for the middle school, that is from grade 6 to 8, we have incorporated AI, which is artificial intelligence, and IT into their regular curriculum, wherein they have 12 hours of AI classes which are conducted. And there is a properly designed curriculum that we are following. And we want to ensure that children are not really left behind. You and I understand that technology is here to stay now, and we are uh, ushering in a world wherein AI is going to be, dominant everywhere. It's going to be now also we see Alexas and Siris everywhere. So in the times to come, we can't really kind of fathom and anticipate how much AI would be all around us. So it's important that we prepare our children to be future ready. So AI is one part, as we can see right now, whatever is happening around. We feel that artificial intelligence will definitely be predominant everywhere. So we have included artificial intelligence and IT right from grade 6. And we also have, state of the art STEAM lab, as we call it, science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And children learn coding there. So they learn robotics, coding, 3D printing. So that's also, giving them practical hands-on knowledge, experience of how AI works. So children are working on different projects, and in fact, on this Saturday we have a beautiful showcase of astronomy and STEAM here in our school. Yeah. So children are very excited, to learn all this.
Um, uh, Thank you very much for talking to us and sharing your thoughts. It was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you. And I really hope that this journey that the CBSE, the government has started, with NEP 2020, it's really fruitful, and we are a nation which really is a knowledge superpower, and we are able to have students who will really make a mark, not only in this country but all over the world. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.